Hi guys, please let me know if you can see my screen. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Thanks for replying, Monica, and thanks KK and DK for joining this call. So before starting this session, I'll just introduce myself. This is Sanjay, and I have experience for 12 plus years. I have been training different students. I have trained many students and given training to many corporate sector. So will not take much time of yours in starting the session, as you guys have already taken good amount of time for waiting the rest of the people to join. And so I'll be on a this slide which I'm going to show you. And in case if you have any question, we'll get your question and take your question at the end of the session. Meanwhile, if there are any chat or text, or if you have any question, please do ask me at the end. I'll not be able to see one of your message also. So, guys, just before starting this session, I just would want to know what is your thought process and what do you think about the data analyst? Can one of you please tell me what is your thought on it? It's completely okay if it is not that correct. I just wanted to know what you are thinking on this. Just wanted to take if you guys just take me through your thought on this, please.
Yeah, based on data, we can give many suggestions. Let's say the picture you are showing, like e-commerce industry, like most of the sales is happening from which city, which state, and the age group, and how
Hmm.
frequently the customers buying, and we can put
Yes.
many offers. People who are frequently purchasing the product, we can give more offers. And if a data scientist is there, we can predict and like sales forecast also we can. So everything based on data, we can take many insights.
Correct, DK. You have explained in a proper way. The way you have explained, the way you have taken us through the slide, this is a very good example of having the very good understanding about this data analyst. So we are just starting from this point that what do we have in our mind when we talk about data analyst or when we talk about analyzing the data, when we see the opportunities in the market, okay, when we get to see that yeah, we can have an option, we can have a source of earning if we get into this data analyst, yeah, skill set, or when we improve it, we will get to know that yes, there are opportunity and we'll get good money from market, right? But yeah, I just would wanted to know, it's really thanks, you have answered it in a very nice way. Anyone else would wanted to share their comments on this? Any one of you? It's completely okay if you have, even if you do not have even a single knowledge about what data analyst is, completely okay. Please speak up. I would request you to unmute yourself and then just talk a bit. Whatsoever knowledge you have, please share with us. So, like the way KK has mentioned it, that yes, basis the presentation, basis the slide, it's there on it. So, guys, what KK has mentioned, I am going to tell you after this that the work of data analyst is after when we get to know what data analyst is. Why there is a requirement in the market about data analyst. What is data analyst and what do they do actually? Okay. So when we see that there are opportunities in the market, obviously we would wanted to get that skills, right? So we can have a different source of earning. We can have a more future, better future in data analyst as a analyst executive, senior analyst executive, right? So good way to earn money. But in beginning, I just would wanted to tell you that what data analyst is. So data analyst work is to analyze the data. Okay, it's very simple. But in beginning, we just see what is the base. So the base is creation of data. So I'm just trying to talk to you on this place. If you see and if you observe what all we guys doing, as of now we are also on call. What we are doing exactly? We are just gathering or creating some of the data. As of now, there are people joined this session, right? How many people are we? We are 5 to 6 people, right? So what we are doing as of now, we just have created this data set that there are 6 people. Okay. So whenever we are doing something, because this current market and the current era is of data. Okay, the current era is of data. Whenever we are trying to, or find something on Google, whenever we try to search for a product, maybe on Amazon, maybe on Flipkart, Mantra, or there are different applications available, right? So whenever we are trying to search for it, accordingly the application or the internet throw us the recommendation accordingly, right? So the data which we are creating is being proceeded in background, right? So ultimately we all are creating the data. And what the organizer do, what the organizations are do, what the companies do of the data, when, for an example, if you just go through this slide where we see that, imagine you are data analyst and e-commerce company that captures sales products and other data every day and stored it in the database. So what can you do with this data? So for an example, we will just take one of the example for Amazon. We already aware of, right? This is one of the e-commerce company sharing and gathering the data from you. It is distributing the products, you are buying it online, and it is getting delivered to at your doorstep, right? So whenever we search for that, whenever we order for something, there is a lot of data is being captured by these companies. And when they gather the data, they try to analyze this data, and accordingly they are able to make their money better. They would want it to grow in the market, so they would need what your feedback is. If you are asking for a product, if you have got one of the product to deliver, maybe a phone, so then you are sharing your rating, that out of 5 star how much you are satisfied with the product. So if you are very much satisfied, obviously you are going to rate it as 5, or maybe if not, then 3 or 4. So when they are gathering the data from you, they would want to implement some of the things. Maybe there are some of the glitch in the product, so they would want it to correct it. They will share the feedback with the specific seller of the company, right? So ultimately what we are talking about, that if the data is being collated by this company, they will have some of the people working under them. They will hire some data analyst, that they are having so much of data. Now they need to analyze the data, that how can they make their market grow, and how can they increase their sales, how can they increase their turnover and the net profit, right? That's why they are requiring data analyst for analyzing the data. So the database is having the data, and what your work is to, your work is to, as a data analyst, you make the data structured, you create a specific summary. Okay, you see the data, what kind of data is there, what kind of customer are you getting. Okay, there are many different kind of product in the market. Electronic items are there, kids products are there. Okay, there are related to phones. Okay, gym. Okay, all these different kind of products are in the market related to fashionable things, your shoes, your clothes, your jeans. Okay, all these things are in there. So they are collecting the data, they are checking which type of product is mostly being searched by the customer, and they'll get that availability in the market. So for an example, we'll just take example that if most of the shoes from Puma is being sold out, and maximum time whenever you are searching it in the Amazon, it is saying that yes, it is out of order, it is out of the stock. As of now, the stock is completely been released to the customer. So they would need that maximum of people are buying the Puma shoes, so they need to keep them stored in a more number of quantity. the quantity, they need to increase the supply, they need to increase in the market because the demand is quite high in the market. So this thing what they have got to know is basis the data what they have, and this specific summary which they have got it from the data analyst who is working in their company, that yes, this there is a demand of this product is very high. In past 6 months there are so many products got sold, and each of the month the sales is increasing, the demand is also increasing, right? So let's go in the next slide. This is the work of the data analyst. When we are having the data analyst work is to maximize the profit. Product to stock, which means they want that stock should be maintained in the store, so whenever that is required or that is demanded by the customer, it's being delivered by the company, right? So if you see in Amazon, Flipkart, whenever we try to order something, they share you one of the notification that within 3 days or within 4 days it will be delivered to your doorstep, right? Right. So they keep the stock maintained. They keep the data that who are the people who are buying this. Okay. For an example, if you take some of the example for some of the expensive products, there is the there is a trend of the people are buying the iPhone product. Okay, there are a lot of people who are only buying the shoe or the products for a specific brand. So all the brands products will be suggested to them. Okay, so how these are being suggested? The data analyze work is happening in background, and basis the data analyze work, all the relevant products are being shown on his application. Let's move ahead and understand. This is one of the snapshot of DMart, the DMart superstore, if you already know. So how do we see the trend over here? If you see this, the very first snapshot is showing sales category. Now, what data analyst work is to do there, all the people are coming in the superstore, they are buying some products, and then they are going back to their home. Now, when a data analyze work happen, the data analyst is sharing all these things with the company owner or maybe with the leadership. Maybe you are working within a company and sharing it with your supervisor, with your manager, or maybe to the leadership, right? So when you are sharing this specific snapshot with them, the very first graph, which is having the sales category wise, the contribution. So what do you see over here? That the grocery items are being sold at 70% of contribution. Okay. Clothes are being sold with 60% of contribution. Food items are sold near to 50%, and similarly we see others also. So what a organizer want, what do they want? They want their sales to be increased, right? So if you see the last two item, what do you observe? Like the gift item are being sold less number of time, people are buying the gift items, and grocery and clothes are being bought by the customer maximum number of time. So most of the people are buying grocery and clothes item, gift items are not being sold so many times, right? So this is when this analyst work is there, and this snapshot which you see above is being shared with the leadership. What the leadership will do for increasing the sales for gift item, they'll ensure that in the market there are different kind of section. So clothes section is there, grocery section is there, similarly gift item section is also there, right? So what they will do, maybe they'll keep the gift item near to the clothes section. Okay, so maybe for an example, one person is coming and going for some function, and he is requiring to buy some clothes. So he went in mart and DMart and bought some of the clothes, and nearby, in the nearby section, he seen that yeah, gift items are also there. So I am just going for one of the reception or for some function. So I'll get some gift item also. So just when he sees it, when he check it, that yeah, I'll just check few of the gift item. There are more opportunities. There are more chances that this person who is going for some function, he'll get the gift items also. So when the chances are increased, there are chances of getting the gift item sales increased. Am I right? So this is one of the sales category wise contribution for each different category. So when you are sharing all these insights, this is what the work of data analyst, what do? They share the insight basis the data they have. They have some of the data and they will create summary on that, like the first summary what you see over here. This summary they share it with their leadership or maybe with their supervisor. Then their supervisor read it. Yes, there are so many categories, and how can we work on the getting the sales increased for electronic items and similarly for rest of the items which are less in sales, right? So this is very first snap. The second snap what you see is for week and day end. This is data analysts would wanted to show this thing with their leadership, that the sales is happening, the 60% of sales is happening within week and days, and weekdays only 40% of sales is happening. So if you remember, KK had mentioned this thing in beginning when I just want that what data analyst is. So he shared this thing that yeah, we can have some of the offer, okay, basis the data analyst because there are sales in the company is happening. Okay, so how can we get the sales increased? So maybe in weekdays you are keeping some of the offer. Okay, so this is one of the example when the superstore owner is keeping some of the offers for the weekend, or sorry, for the weekdays. So the 40% sale which is there for weekdays gets increased. Okay, so this data, whenever the customers are coming to DMart, they are gathering the data that what is the time when these people are buying all these products. So similarly, in the third snapshot, the third graph, the third visualization where you see shift wise sales, which is showing you, see the time is there. If you see 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., 40% of people are buying the products and going, right? If you see 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., 35% of people are buying, I mean, coming and visiting the superstore and going back, right? Obviously, there is more opportunities are there in 10 to 1 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. because only 8% of people are trying to come in this specific shift timing, and similarly in other also. So when data analyst is sharing this specific thing with their supervisor, what is the next thing? What is the next step? When the data is there, obviously the shopkeeper will ensure that when people are coming, customers are coming, maximum of the customer are coming in this these both shift, they will keep the sufficient staff for serving their customer. Okay, so if you see 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., 40% of people are coming. If this support staff is low, they'll not be able to ensure the delivery of the product, right? So they need to ensure that between the time of 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. So this 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. maximum of people from their company are available. And similarly, they'll keep less staff in the other two shifts. Similarly, they'll ensure that when these two shifts are there, they'll ensure the supply, which means whenever people are buying some of the products, they'll ensure that in storeroom we need to keep the supply. When they'll buy some items, the section will remain empty. Okay, so they need to ensure the supply from storeroom to mart. Okay, so all these things are there. This is when these things happen, slowly and gradually the sales increase. When the sales increase, the turnover gets increased, and similarly when turnover gets increased, the net profit is also there. Okay, now we see what kind of report and visualizations are prepared by the data analyst. So one of the example which you see here is available on the Excel sheet, where you see that sales is there, total leads, how many people came there, the customer source, where from the people came to Mart. Okay. Similarly, basis the leads we had, how many customer turned into the real customer, which means they have got the product from us. Okay. So when this such kind of representations, when such graphical designs are shared with the company owners or with your supervisor, then they are able to understand what is the market ask, what is the ask of market, what is their customers feedback. Okay, how they can deliver it better to their customer and they can get their uh, people happy in the company, outside of the company. Okay, outside of the company people are their customer, inside the company their employees, and they can get their employee aligned to a specific requirement. Okay, whenever the more requirement is there, for an example, there are more number of complaints are coming for a specific thing. Maybe there is a phone which is having a specific complaint related to phone screen. So they'll analyze the data that most of the people are coming for analyzing, and they are coming with the complaint that yeah, there is an issue with the screen. So they will ensure that most of the agents who are trying to pick up the customers calls are more for a screen only. They are available for a screen only. Okay, so there are a couple of the parameters which are gauged post the data is shared with the leadership. Okay, so this is one of the section where we have seen what data analyst work is to do, how can the market sales and supply chain gets maintained. Similarly, this is one of the report and dashboard is available on Excel. One of the other example what you see here is on Tableau, where you see week wise, MTD, quarter wise, and year wise, category wise sales. Okay, this specific visualization show you for one of the website analytics. Okay, from a website, which means maybe from a mantra, the database is already there. From a tool, a data analyst have faced the data, and basis the data he has downloaded, this is the visualizations is being prepared by them. Okay, so this is for Tableau. The next one what you see over here is that once all these data is prepared, obviously this get delivered to the data analyst, and post then it has been summarized by the data analyst and shared with the leadership or with the company owner. But in going in depth, what do they do? Data analyst, there are a lot of works done by data analysts. So they extract the data, which means they download the data from a specific source. Maybe they are trying to collect it, or maybe they are trying to download it from one of the website. They prepare it and transform it. So what is this transformation and preparation? When they have the huge data, they have a maybe more than 1 lakh of customers are there. So they extract the data, they prepare the data. Obviously, they can not just share the 1 lakh peoples of data with their owner. They'll just share a summary that which kind of customer are buying what product, and what is the turnover for 1 day, what is the net profit for 1 day, how could we make it this delivered. So they will just share the summary. So they need to prepare the database and transform it in a way so they can share it with their leadership. Other point where you see acquire data from primary or the secondary data source. Okay, what is this primary and secondary data source? Primary data source is, for an example, we just have understood that yes, from one of the website you have downloaded your data, that how many people are buying the your products. Secondary data, for an example, you are working in Amazon and you're working there as a data analyst. So you need to pick up the source from two different places. One place is from the application, second is from your stakeholders. When we talk about a stakeholder, the people who are delivering it in the location. In different cities, there are people sitting, they are working there, they have their the delivery boy and everybody. So they have this their super store, they have a store available, and then they are getting the product delivered to end user, right? So they need to, the data analyst only does not need to download the data from a specific source. There can be multiple source from where the data analyst needs to get the data, right? Analyze the information. When they have the data, they need to analyze the information and provide it in a way so it meets the requirement of the leadership. When they are hiring you guys as a data analyst, obviously there are some of the requirement. Their requirement is that you analyze the data and provide them so they can improve their sales if whatsoever their requirement is from you. If they want that you guys need to get the team handled, there are a lot of people in our company maybe for 1,000 or maybe 1 lakh. If they hired you as a data analyst, so you need to analyze the data for their 1 lakh employees. As of now, we just have taken it for e-commerce. So there is not only one single company which is going to hire the data analyst. There are all different kind of company who are requiring the data analyst. Why do they requiring this data analyst? Because currently the era is of the data. Everybody is creating the data, and basis the data, all the organizer, all the owner of the company would want to take the benefit of the data what they are gathering from you. Whenever you download any of the application in your phone, they ask that this access has been requested from you. So if you press OK, there are data captured from your phone, right? So what do they want after capturing your data? They just would wanted to observe what you are searching. If you are searching for phone in your Insta, in your YouTube, whenever you are trying to search something, they will recommend their advertisement accordingly, right? So how this thing happen? The analyzing is happening in background, and basis your data analyzing, okay, basis the data analyzing for you specifically, the advertisement is being provided to you specifically for your related products, okay, the products what you are looking for in market. Okay, what other thing you see? Report generation. What the data analyst work is to do? They need to share their role in data, right? They need to share it day wise, weekly and monthly. There are different kind of report and dashboards which is being delivered by data analyst. So when you are working as a data analyst in a company, you will get some data, and basis the data you would need to provide some summary to your supervisor, to your leadership. So there can be some of the shift whenever you're working in. If they want that within a 2 hour you need to publish that report, so you would share it basis whatsoever their requirement. This is a slot daily, weekly and monthly when they are requiring it. What other thing is monitor and maintain the operability, okay, operability with of dashboard and reporting. So there are a couple of things what the data analyst work is to do. Monitor and maintain, what does that mean? So whenever data is coming, they need to monitor it. They need to make it in a structured way. Not every time you will get the data in a structured way. So what will you do? You will make the data structured. As you are already working as a data analyst, you will already have the skill set how you can make it structured, right? So that is a work of data analyst first. When they make the data structured, make it in a way that it suits their report. And when they can make it automate, with how many formulas they can make it automate. So they need to maintain with the different formulas, their logical formula they need to apply. They need to apply informative formulas, right? And accordingly they need to prepare one of the dashboard and reporting for that specific requirement, right? Designing dashboard, which we already have discussed, they need to design the dashboard. This dashboard is nothing, I'll just show you. What you are as of now able to see on a screen is a dashboard. Here what you see is a dashboard. Here what you see is a dashboard. So what dashboard is? Dashboard just a summary of the data. You are not going to share data with your end user. Obviously you are going to share the summary of it. So they need to design a dashboard so they can, your dashboard should talk, right? What data analyst work is to do? Whenever they are sharing some data, okay, whenever they are sharing some of the reports with their supervisor or with whomsoever they are reporting to, that's when they see that the design of dashboard should be in a way so it meets their requirement. They need to monitor their performance. Okay. At the end of the session, you'll see that many of different points are mentioned over here. You just see it. When you move ahead, all these dashboards are nothing but the summary of the data what a data analyst is working upon. Monitor performance metrics. What do we call metrics as? There are metrics in a different company. There are different metrics. Okay. Again, in a customer care, there are metrics related to quality performance, related to their customers, whether they are providing a satisfactory answer to their customer or not, right? So there are different metrics. Sales metrics is there in a sales company. Similarly, they need to ensure that order is being delivered. So whenever a company is working on an order performance, whenever a customer is buying or ordering something from a specific application, whether it is getting delivered to them within a time frame or not, right? So all these are different metrics. Whenever you work in a company, you get to know, interpret the data, analyze the result using statistical technique, and provide the ongoing reports. So there are different way by analyst can visualize the summary with statistical analysis and provide it to their management, right? Let's go ahead and just understand now. When we have discussed so much about data analyst, sometime we get to think that I am from a different field. Maybe I am from engineering field, I am from a commerce background, or maybe I am from a different background. I am not sure whether this specific skill set is going to help me, or maybe can I learn this or not. So here, if you see any of the field you are into, maybe you are working already in data analyst, or maybe you are working in some of the profession, or you are a student. If you are from any of the profession or from any of the background, whether you are a graduated or post graduated, if you wanted to get the learning for data analyst, it's completely simple, and you do not need to have from a specific background. So whether you are from BTech, BCom, BSc, Pharmacy, MBA, BBA, or for any other graduation you might have done, it's completely okay. If you wanted to become an analyst, become the data analyst, whether you're if you're already working in some of the company, where you see couple of the designations are mentioned over here. Maybe you're working in operations, working for quality, working for finance, or working from, which means what we are trying to talk about, that if you are already in some of the profession and you would want it, that I would want it to switch from this specific place. Okay, as of now I am working in quality, but I would want it to work on data analyst. Okay, so how can you improve your skill on this? And obviously when you're working as a data analyst, you will get more in earning, right? So this is one of the thing. There are few of the tools which are mentioned over here. Basis the data is being analyzed on these tools and being visualized on it. So Excel is there where you get to see the data, you get work upon it, you make it structured from basic to advanced. You get to see from Tableau, SQL, and Power BI. There are these tools. These are nothing but the tools for analyzing the data and then visualizing it to their leadership. Now, what we think over here, that if you are from any of the field, you please relax. Will start from scratch, from the base. So you do not need to be worried about it. When you are learning this, you'll be starting from scratch only, right? So there is a no thinking and no thought about which field I am already working in and what profession I am into. Okay. Now, when we work about data analyst and when we are already working as a data analyst, there is one also question and query comes in our mind, that if I'm going to get in this profession, what is the career for me? I'm already working somewhere, or maybe if I'm a student or I'm a graduate, if I'm going in this field, what would be my career in future? So if you see, the data analyst is just a beginning. Then you have data scientist and AI engineer. So there are layers after it. There are senior people are there in data analyst who are working as a developer, then senior data analyst, and senior data scientist also. So the career path is huge. And as if you spend more than 5 years or more than 3 years with the data analyst, there are probability of getting you promoted or getting you on a next level as a data scientist. If you work on data analyst or data scientist good amount of year for good 8 years, there are probability of AI engineering also. So there is a career of more than 20 to 30 years only for these three different designations. And there are above levels also. Okay. So this is just end of the session. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask me. If you have any question, we'll answer your questions first. And let me just check if you have Any question in chat box? Not question in chat box. Okay, so you would wanted to unmute yourself and ask some question if you have any, please.
Sajay, which industry you have been working? Like which industry you got an experience? And moreover, like nowadays, AI penetration tools are heavy. So wherever Instagram feeds like learn this by AI, learn this by AI. So how does the industry is taking into consideration?
So there are different tools which are there. Okay, so these are the basic tools which are maximum of the time being required in the company. When we say maximum of time, more than 96% of companies are taking these tools for, because these are easy to narrate their story on the database. These are easy for data analysts to work upon the data set, and the database is also stored with less size on these tools. So these are all tools are there. You have the programming tools which are related to SQL, Tableau, which is there for visualization. Similarly, Power BI, where you get to see the Power Query. And Excel, you already know that how do you see the data? You can get the data analyzed on it. You can summarize it with the advanced level of functions and formulas with the graphical representations. So it is already there. And obviously, when you going to search or when you go and search in Google, you get to see there are a lot of opportunity for all these tools in the market.
No, no.
I
Sajay,
hope
what
I
I'm
have,
asking.
yeah, yeah.
No, no, no.
Please go ahead.
What I'm asking. See now take ChatGPT and Cloud AI and Bard or Gemini. So most of the like machine learning codes are taken from that tool only. Like that, I'm asking data analyst also like people will how companies are considering those ChatGPT. People take the code from ChatGPT implement. How does it work? Any industry you have been with any industry or directly only in teaching?
So see, now I have understood what you are asking about. That when the new tools, the AI is coming in Mart, how they are considering it. So if you see in the Mart, as of now, the AI, okay, AI is there on place, but Chat GPT, Gemini, and all these things where you see it, these are in process as of now, and all the data functions which where the functions are of data, the AI is taking place within these tools. If you see in Excel, if you see in Tableau, if you see it in Power BI, there is one of the tool into it. There is one of the function into it related to AI or for any of these advanced tool. But you see when all these things, which means Chat GPT or Gemini, these are not directly helping it. They are taking one of the source it. For an example, they need one of the portfolio, one of the tool. For an example, you have Excel and you want some AI project to be run, so you would need the Excel. In Excel, you need to get into one of the menu where AI is there. So from Chat GPT or from Gemini, if you would wanted to get some data or get some analyze which happen automatically from there, so you would need to learn the Excel, right? So in Excel, you would have that specific function from where you get the advancement of it. So they are not all these tools which are already getting in the market and as of now also taking place. If you see, there are more tools are there for data analyst. Okay, and as of now still they are being developed. They are not going to get end in chat because of Chat GPT and because of Gemini. Okay, so all these things are a different thing which are still being in process. They are helping the data, but they are not going to remove all these tools from Mart. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. Still, if you have any question, please do ask on this.
No, I got it. By the way, which industry you have got experience? Which domain? Like e-commerce, banking sectors, or what?
I'm working for data analyst only.
For which domain? Let's say e-commerce or banking sectors, or manufacturing sector or hospital sectors.
I'm working for omnichannel. Omnichannel has the database for banking sector, for e-commerce, and for healthcare also. So I am taking care of multiple channels actually, where all the people meets, and there are more than 1,000 plus companies are there in one company. So the outsourcing business is there. So within that outsourcing business, there are different categories of the business. So okay, so this is multi-channel platform I'm working on. So yes, I hope I have answered your question.
Okay.
I would just request other also, like DK has got some question and got the answer for them. Can you please unmute yourself and ask the question if you have any, please?
Hey Sanjay, do we suppose? I mean, are we going to use any kind of language, like any programming language, like either Java or something, in the data analyst while we perform?
So if you see this slide, if you are able to see the slide,
Mhm.
we are as of now talking about the data analyst function.
Correct.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the data analyst is the basic. Okay, when we are
Mm-hmm.
talking about data analyst, there are tools related to it where we work on the data. Java is not there for checking the data directly. There are different kind of tools. Java is there for a different programming language. Here the
Mm-hmm.
language is different. Like MySQL and Power BI, you get to see that Power Query is there. You get to see macro and Visual Basic is there for automating the data. When we talk
Mm-hmm.
about data only, there are different tools in data. Okay, so the programming is language is required for data tools only. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Java is a different platform and that is for a different usage. But when we talk about data analyst needs to perform the activities on some different tools. And these are the tool where whenever you learn it, you get to see that the data is there, how it is being utilized by the end user, how it is being utilized by the manager, supervisor, and then they are sharing the feedback with their, clients. Okay, so there are different tools and different platform are there. Basis them, we get the insight shared with the leadership, and then they use it. I hope I have answered your question. If you are good with the answer, or if you still have some question, please ask.
No, I'm good with your answer, and I'm really got the answer, and thanks for explaining.
Okay, please go ahead and ask if you have any question. I'm asking it for other candidates also.
Can I know what's the duration for the, I mean, duration of this data analyst course?
Okay, so there is a so 45 days of duration. I mean, when we talk about 45 days of duration, it is for 2 months. But yeah, we do not have the sessions in weekend. So we have the sessions from Monday to
Weekday.
Friday. Correct. In the weekdays, we have the discussions, and the good part is that whenever you have the sessions, you you get to see the sessions, you get in the live classes, and as of now, like we are connected, still you have only in the last only you have got the 10 minutes to ask. But in the
Mhm.
live class, you can ask anytime. If you have any question, you just stop at that point of time. Your question will be answered first, and then only the instructor will move ahead and showcase the next function, showcase the next option.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Okay, so this is about the live class. The shift timing is obviously from uh, morning, and it is in weekdays. Saturday and Sundays are off. It is for 1 hour classes, and 45 days are there, and which you get to see, you get to learn all these tools from scratch to advanced level.
Can I know the timing on the I mean, can I know the timing for the class?
It is you'll have this discussion with the team, but yes, I'm giving you still a heads up. It is in morning between 7 to 9 p.m. Okay, so it can be from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. also, or maybe from 7 to 8 also. Okay, so this timing is not a question. It can be related to uh, between this time, between the morning time. But yes, It is going to be for 1 hour and for 45 days. This is your question.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Really thanks. Really thanks for asking this question. I think it has cleared the doubts for others also. I just go on the screen and I'll just check who else have the question. I see Lahiri Kaushala. Can you please unmute yourself and ask the question if you have any, please?
Yeah, Sanjay. Can we have a certification at last?
Certification, for certification, you'll have to get connected with the team and they'll answer you. But yeah, these all these tools are there which are going to get at the end level. So obviously you can discuss it with the team. But if you have any question related to all these tools, whether related to data analyst work, what is the related to sessions, and one more thing adding to it, like when you have the live classes, you get the link also in case if you miss or maybe you are not available for a day or for maybe that specific timing when you have the class available. In case if you miss it, you just can go to the video and just check the class, what happened in the class, what was discussed in the class, and then you can have your all queries cleared. In the next day whenever you join back, you can have, if you have any questions, you will get your question answered first and then only the sessions will start for the day. And
Is there any
any,
assignments that we can expect after completion of
yes,
any class or
assignments are
something?
there. Assignments are also there. You get some of the assignment throughout the day once you get the day is completed. Once the day is completely done, you have some of the assignments. Once you do the assignments, you get it checked by us in the class only. Okay. So for an example, you are learning some of the logical functions. In logical functions, you are provided with some of the exercise. In the next day,
Hmm.
you can have the discussed. Wherever you had any confusion or wherever you have any doubts, you can clear that first and you can get your assignment submitted, and accordingly uh, the class goes one
We
by
can.
one. The next option, there are a couple of menus which we are going to learn related to macro, related to the viewpoint, related to the data sheet, more related to structuring the data and keeping the format in a way so it suits the requirement. Then we can share it with the leadership. We can prepare a dashboard with graphical representation, with graph, column graph, scatter diagram, with a bar diagram. All these things needs to be learned when we are working on visualization on Power BI. In SQL,
Mhm.
we need to learn the advanced functions also. So all these
Mhm.
things you need to do a practice, then only we have a good amount of learning, right?
Correct. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really thanks. Anyone else have any question? Okay, I'm on mute for a minute. If you just have a question and you wanted to ask it at the end, so you please go ahead and ask. Still, if you have any question and you would wanted to ask at the end, you can be on this call and at the end you can stay for a minute and then you can ask. Hi KK, can you hear me? You are on mute. If you are on mute, I'll request you to please unmute yourself. Can you hear me? Am I audible to you, KK? Okay, I'm done with the sessions. I'll request to all of you guys to ask the question, and if you do not have any question, we'll wind up the sessions and hope to see you guys in the sessions for the daily sessions and the daily classes. Really thanks for your time. Please stay on the call if you have any questions, else you can log out for the day. Really thanks for your time.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Yep, thank you. Really thanks for your time.